Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Ruach Kodash. I want to give double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and salutations and much love to the rest of you sincere Akim, pushing the word in truth and in sincerity. This is the cleric Izar coming at you with another lesson. I am continuing in my lot to bring you my ongoing series from excerpts of Hollywood, This Factory of Perverseness, another observation of predictive programming and how art imitates life and vice versa. Just a reminder, the purpose of my videos is to show correlations. A correlation is an observation of a mutual relationship or connection between two or more things. I use movies to extract or extrapolate a narrative. I'm not glorifying the Hollywood culture or life. I have a wide knowledge of films, whether they be foreign or domestic, and I just use them as an example to bring out those similarities and those correlations. To quote Cecil B. DeMille, the greatest source of material for motion pictures is the Bible. I call this lesson, Israel is the prince with 1,000 enemies. The image I have on display is a film I watched in my early youth. Of course, being in this truth, I reflected on this particular movie. This movie was released on October 14th, 1978 in Sweden. Eventually released on October 19th, 1978 in the United Kingdom or the UK. I don't have an official release date for when it was brought to the United States, but this is where I watched it. I think I've watched this before even cable was introduced. Just showing you my age. But the title of it is Watership Down, directed by Martin Rosen and John Hubley. This basically is a foreign film, but it's a foreign animated film. Basically speaking about a group of rabbits that are making a journey from one end of a field to another. It's pretty violent. You would think it's made for kids, but it's adult oriented as well. But basically, when this movie starts off, there's this prologue where it talks about how the bunny rabbit came to be. It's actually called the Genesis prologue when you go to Wikipedia. But basically, in the beginning, it talked about this rabbit, and before it had its ears, and before it had its bunny tail, or that puffy tail, it had become very arrogant with the Most High, and the Most High cursed it with this, with its longer hind legs, its bunny tail, as well as its long ears, and it said that it would be a prince of 1,000 enemies. And as you see on this tag of this poster, it mentions that particular prologue. It says, all the world will be your enemy, prince with 1,000 enemies, and when they catch you, they will kill you, but first they must catch you. And if you think about the life of a rabbit, it has enemies from the air, from the water or the sea, and from the ground, meaning you have owls, hawks, falcons that go after rabbits. On the ground, you have all types of domestic and wild animals that go after rabbits. And you have reptiles and things of the ocean, seas, and rivers that go after rabbits. So basically, when you watch this film, you see all the things that can kill a rabbit. That's why, hence the tagline, a prince with 1,000 enemies. So I wouldn't be surprised if the author of this particular book, because it's actually derived from a novel, he got this from the scriptures, meaning Jake or Israel being that person with 1,000 enemies, or the enemies that's depicted in Psalms 83rd chapter. Okay, so when I was rewatched this film, when I was following the truth, I was like, oh man, this is a basic rip-off of the scriptures. Okay, but when you see this film, you'll see how the rabbits, they're basically, not only are they being hunted by other species, but even their own species of their own kind are their own enemies, which makes you think of the 2/3. All right, the ones of Israel that aren't of the elect. Okay, and so basically, you gotta check this movie out if you haven't done so already. There's also a remake that's just appeared on Netflix as a computer animated form, which is for free if you have Netflix, but it's called Watership Down. And if you don't believe me, Jacob is known as that prince, or that prince of power. When you read the book of Genesis, starting at chapter 32, verse 28, Genesis 32, verse 28 reads, and he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel, for as a prince hast thou power with the Most High and with men, and hast prevailed. Okay, and that's what happened as the Prince of Power, or Jake, or Israel, as the scriptures stated. Okay, but then right towards the end, there's a rabbit that goes against this dog. It's a very violent scene, and they don't. It's a mystery whether or not the rabbit prevails. But I remember speaking with my dad. I was like, I wonder what happened to the rabbit. My dad knows. I was like, oh, come on, that dog tore up that rabbit. Okay, it was a big dog too, but then when you read the scriptures, it talks about the dogs being the enemies of Israel as well. When you go to Philippians chapter 3 verse 2, it strictly states, beware of dogs, beware of evil workers, beware of the concision. And it talks about the ones that are believing that circumcision is the only way to be saved, and mutilators of the flesh. Okay, and basically these dogs is also a depiction of the wicked. All right, and it's the scriptures specifically state that the wicked are the ones that deliver the sword. If you know who want, going back to Genesis, or the book of Genesis, it speaks of Esau being the ultimate enemy of Israel, and having received the blessing of the sword. And he is the wicked, as pertaining to the book of Malachi. When you read Psalms 17th chapter, starting at verse 13, it reads, Arise, O Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Okay, you see that? Okay, and this goes hand in hand. Okay, all right, Esau was given the sword. He pursued his brother Jacob, which was given the ultimate blessing, and through, of course, Abraham, Isaac, and himself being Jacob, which eventually turned into Israel. Okay, but this is the deliverance that we're looking for. All right, and this is why I see the correlation with this particular film, Watership Down, being that Jake is that rabbit, and he even talks about Jacob being the worm, and of course, a worm has almost the same amount of enemies as well. You know, I've seen my brother has pet turtles, and turtles eat worms, birds eat worms, all types of you could put a worm on a hook, and fish eat worms. Okay, so it's talked about that. So there's that similarity. Okay, but back to these dogs, which are, like I said, the evil workers or the wicked. Psalms chapter 22 verse 20 states that again. Deliver my soul from the sword, my darling from the power of the dog. Okay, and this is what we're looking for, especially as we go into Jacob's trouble. Of course, it's going to be Esau's trouble as well. All right, because we're going to have some race squabble, especially when this famine really hits hard, especially when the food runs out. And people are going to be sedition amongst men, and total chaos. Okay, and it's basically their plan. And like I said, this is what the elect are hoping for, is that deliverance. Psalm 59 speaks about it again. Psalm 59, I'm going to start at the 6th verse. Psalm 59 verse 6. It's the deliverance from the enemies. And it reads, They return at evening, they make a noise like a dog, and go round about the city. Behold, they belch out with their mouth. Swords are in their lips. For who say they doth hear? And it's basically, that talks about the different laws that the Esau has created in the world, and made it so that Jacob could be that prey. All right, because the earth is basically out of its course. All right, it's not in tune with nature at all. Okay, and so once that's what we're hoping for the kingdom of heaven to be established on this planet, and that's why we need Yahweh Shai, all right, to come and save Jacob. Okay, that's what we're looking for. But I'm going to end it on this, because I always like to end my videos on a good note with some type of silver lining, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. So in other words, there is a happy ending. In the book of Psalms, we're going to start at chapter 3, verse 7. Arise, O Yahweh, save me, O my power, for thou hast smitten all mine enemies upon the cheekbone. Thou hast broken the teeth of the ungodly. Okay, and that's what I said. And we're looking for that deliverance. We're looking for to be saved, and Israel is the ones to be saved, not the whole entire human race. We're looking for you blacks, Native Americans, Latinos to come back to your power, and specifically the elect, so that we'll be saved and be able to establish the kingdom of heaven right here on earth. Well, I just wanted to share that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, who gives me the strength and the spirit to continue to strive and endure in these last days. Shalom to the hopeful elect, and on to the next video.